So welcome to level 2. In level 1 we established that the grantor is the only source of authority. Now we must ask, what are the rules of his trust? The state wants you to believe that legislation is law. They want you to believe that if they write a rule on paper and vote on it, it becomes law. But that's a lie. There is a difference between the law, which is eternal, and legislation, which is administrative. Law is not written by politicians, law is discovered. It is the objective moral fabric of the universe. Do not steal, do not murder, do not defraud. These were laws before the first government was ever formed. Legislation is different. Legislation is just the house rules of the state corporation. It changes every year. Here is the key. Legislation is subordinate to law. This isn't just theology. This is the foundation of the common law itself. Common law is simply the record of men trying to harmonise increasingly closely with level 2. So, level 2 is your filter. It gives you the legal power to look at a statute and say, this violates the terms of the trust, therefore it is void. Let's look at the standard.
Level 2 is God's law. Think of this as the terms of the trust. When the Creator gave man dominion, he also gave rules. These rules are not religious suggestions, they are the operating system of reality. We call them objective morality. The state acts as the trustee. A trustee is strictly bound by the terms of the trust deed. This means the state cannot make a rule that violates the moral law. If God says, "Do not steal," the state cannot pass a statute that legalizes theft and call it taxation. If they do, they are in breach of trust. We must distinguish between law and legislation. Law is level 2. It is immutable. It prohibits malum in se, things that are evil in themselves, like murder and fraud. Legislation is level 10. It is an administrative policy. It creates malum prohibitum, things that are wrong only because they said so. Here is your power. Legislation is only valid if it does not contradict law. You can obey a speed limit, legislation, because it doesn't violate God's law. But you cannot obey a command to harm your neighbor because that does violate God's law. This brings us to a powerful defense strategy called impossibility of performance. There is a legal maxim, lex non cogit ad impossibilia. The law does not compel the impossible. In the eyes of level 2, it is impossible for a man to lawfully commit a sin. Therefore, if a statute orders you to do something immoral, like forcing a medical procedure that violates your body, you can stand on level 2 and say, "I cannot comply. It is legally impossible for me to violate the laws of God, to obey the laws of men." At that moment, the statute becomes void ab initio, void from the beginning. Now, you might ask, is this the same as common law? Not exactly. They are partners. Level 2, God's law, is the spirit. It is the invisible standard of right and wrong. Level 5, common law, is the physical record of how our ancestors applied, and now we are applying, this spirit to better and better resolve disputes. We need level 2 to validate level 5. Without God's law, common law just becomes tradition. With God's law, common law becomes the shield of justice. We will cover the mechanics of that shield in level 5. We anchor this level in the maxim of St. Augustine, lex injusta non est lex. An unjust law is not law at all. It does not say it is bad law, it says it is not law at all. It is a usurper. When you stand on level 2, you strip the state of any pretense at moral authority. You remind them that they are under the standard, not the creators of it.